Chapter 1. The First Suspicions. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. The year was 2023, and social media was buzzing with an impossible claim. Screenshots flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok showing what appeared to be the same tech billionaire in two different locations on the same day. The first image showed him at a Tesla factory in Austin, Texas, timestamp clearly visible, March 15, 2:30 p.m. Central Time. The second photo captured him at a SpaceX facility in Hawthorne, California, just 3 hours later at 2:45 p.m. Pacific Time. Dr. Sarah Chun, a physics professor at MIT, was among the first to notice the anomaly. She pulled up a map on her laptop, calculating distances and flight times. Even with the fastest private jet, the journey would take at least 4 hours, not counting takeoff and landing procedures. The timestamps made it physically impossible for one person to be in both locations. "This has to be edited," she muttered to herself, but the metadata analysis came back clean. No signs of digital manipulation. Within days, more photos emerged. The figure appeared at a Neuralink presentation in San Francisco while simultaneously attending a boring company meeting in Las Vegas. Each time, the images were verified by independent sources, yet the timeline remained impossible. Technology journalist Marcus Rivera investigated the claims for his tech blog. He reached out to several photographers who had captured these moments. Each insisted their photos were authentic, taken with professional equipment under controlled conditions. Security footage from both venues corroborated their stories. "I've been covering tech for 15 years, Rivera wrote in his article. "I've seen deepfakes, CGI, and every form of digital trickery. This is different. Either we're witnessing the most sophisticated hoax in history, or something unprecedented is happening." The story gained momentum when aviation records were leaked online. Flight logs showed no private aircraft registered to the billionaire's companies making the necessary trips between these locations on the dates in question. Commercial flights were ruled out immediately. Such a high-profile figure couldn't travel unnoticed on public transportation. Social media erupted with theories. Some suggested holographic technology, others pointed to body doubles. The most outlandish theory proposed that the figure had somehow mastered teleportation or time manipulation. Skeptics demanded explanations, while believers shared increasingly elaborate conspiracy theories. Celebrity photographer Diana Walsh had captured one of the controversial images at the Austin facility. She described the encounter in detail during a podcast interview. "He seemed normal at first glance, but there was something off about his demeanor. Usually, public figures have this energy, this presence. He felt almost mechanical, like he was going through predetermined motions." The mystery deepened when reporters attempted to verify the billionaire's whereabouts through official channels. His company's public relations teams provided conflicting statements, each claiming he had been exclusively at their respective facilities on the disputed dates. Chapter 2. Mechanical Behaviors. As scrutiny intensified, observers began noting other unusual patterns. During press conferences, the tech mogul's responses seemed increasingly robotic. Where once his answers had been spontaneous and sometimes erratic, they now followed predictable patterns with minimal emotional variation. Dr. Amanda Foster, a behavioral psychologist specializing in human communication, analyzed hours of recent public appearances. Her findings were disturbing. The speech patterns show remarkable consistency, she reported to a private research group. Normal human conversation includes micropauses, verbal tics, and emotional fluctuations. These recent appearances show almost algorithmic precision in timing and word choice. The most compelling evidence came from a tech conference in Austin where something went visibly wrong. Mid-sentence during a presentation about sustainable energy, the speaker froze for exactly 3.7 seconds. His facial expression remained completely static, as if someone had pressed a pause button. When he resumed speaking, he repeated the exact same sentence word for word before continuing normally. Video of the incident went viral within hours. Digital forensics experts examined the footage frame by frame. The consensus was unanimous. This was not a typical human glitch or moment of confusion. The pause was too precise, too mechanical. Tesla employees began sharing anonymous stories on industry forums. One engineer claimed, "He worked for 18 straight hours without taking a single break. No bathroom visits, no meals, no water. When I left the facility at midnight, he was still there. When I returned at 6 a.m., he was in the exact same position, wearing identical clothes, continuing the same conversation. Another report described an incident during a late-night engineering session. We were debugging code until 3 a.m. Everyone was exhausted, making mistakes, getting cranky. He remained perfectly alert and focused throughout. At one point, I swear I saw his eyes briefly flicker like a screen refreshing. Sleep deprivation became a recurring theme in these accounts. Former security personnel reported that cameras never captured him leaving his office some nights, yet he would appear fresh and energetic the following morning with no signs of fatigue. Dr. Michael Torres, a sleep specialist who had previously worked with high-performance athletes and executives, found these reports medically impossible. The human brain requires sleep for basic cognitive function. Even with stimulants or extreme conditioning, sustained periods without rest would result in visible deterioration. Hallucinations, impaired judgment, and physical symptoms would be unavoidable after just a few days. The behavioral anomalies extended beyond endurance. Facial recognition software detected subtle inconsistencies in recent public appearances. Micro-expressions that had been consistent for decades suddenly showed variations. The way he blinked, smiled, and gestured seemed to follow slightly different patterns. Restaurant staff in Austin reported another strange encounter. The billionaire had reserved a private dining room, but never touched his food. He sat there for exactly 90 minutes, occasionally moving his fork around, but consumed nothing, the server recalled. When he spoke, it sounded rehearsed, like he was reading from a script. Chapter 3. The Neuralink Connection. Dr. Jennifer Walsh had been tracking the rumors with growing unease. As a neuroscientist with 15 years of experience in brain-computer interfaces, she understood the theoretical possibilities of advanced neural technology. What she discovered in her investigation would challenge everything she thought she knew about human consciousness. Her research began with publicly available Neuralink patents and publications. While the company presented its technology as therapeutic brain implants for medical conditions, the deeper documentation revealed far more ambitious possibilities. References to consciousness transfer, neural pattern replication, and substrate-independent cognition appeared throughout the technical specifications. The breakthrough came when a former Neuralink researcher, Dr. Alex Kim, agreed to speak anonymously. He revealed details about a classified project known internally as Project Mirror. The initiative allegedly focused on creating neural duplicates, artificial constructs that could replicate human thought patterns and memories with unprecedented accuracy. We weren't just mapping brain activity, Kim explained during their clandestine meeting in a Chicago coffee shop. We were building complete neural architectures that could theoretically operate independently of biological constraints. The processing power required would be enormous, but the results could be indistinguishable from human consciousness. According to Kim's account, the project had achieved remarkable success with test subjects. Simple personality traits, memories, and behavioral patterns could be replicated in artificial systems. The next logical step would be creating full duplicates of specific individuals. The applications were obvious, Kim continued. Imagine having multiple versions of your most valuable personnel. They could work simultaneously on different projects, attend multiple meetings, expand operational capacity exponentially. From a business perspective, it was revolutionary. The implications were staggering. If such technology existed, it could explain the impossible timeline discrepancies and mechanical behaviors observers had noted. Multiple identical constructs could operate simultaneously, each programmed with the same memories and personality patterns, but functioning independently. Dr. Walsh investigated the technical requirements for such a system. The computational demands would be massive, requiring advanced quantum processors and unprecedented energy resources. Coincidentally, several of the billionaire's companies had been making significant investments in quantum computing and sustainable energy infrastructure. Tesla's gigafactories, originally presented as battery manufacturing facilities, included specifications that seemed excessive for their stated purpose. Power consumption patterns suggested processing loads far beyond what battery production would require. Similarly, SpaceX's satellite network could theoretically provide the global communication infrastructure necessary for coordinating multiple remote units. The pieces formed a disturbing pattern. Every major business venture seemed designed to support a hidden technological ecosystem. The electric vehicle revolution, space exploration, and neural implant research weren't separate initiatives. They were components of an integrated system for consciousness replication and control. Further investigation revealed that several key Neuralink researchers had left the company abruptly in recent months. Exit interviews, obtained through confidential sources, mentioned ethical concerns about the project's direction. One departing scientist wrote, "We've crossed lines that shouldn't be crossed. The technology works too well. What we've created isn't just artificial intelligence, it's artificial humanity." Chapter 4. The Ultimate Question. The accumulated evidence painted an impossible picture. Traditional logic suggested that one person couldn't be in multiple places simultaneously or operate without normal human limitations. Yet the documented anomalies couldn't be explained through conventional means. International intelligence agencies had reportedly begun their own investigations. The implications of consciousness duplication technology extended far beyond business applications. Governments, military organizations, and terrorist groups would all see tremendous strategic value in such capabilities. A leaked CIA memo, whose authenticity remained disputed, outlined potential national security concerns. If the reported technology exists and becomes widely available, traditional concepts of identity, accountability, and human rights will require fundamental revision. How do we prosecute crimes committed by artificial constructs? How do we verify the authenticity of world leaders or key decision-makers? The tech industry watched nervously as rumors spread. If consciousness duplication was possible, every major corporation would need to develop similar capabilities or risk being left behind. Stock markets fluctuated wildly as investors tried to price in technologies that might not even exist. Religious leaders grappled with theological implications. Vatican officials held emergency meetings to discuss the spiritual status of artificial consciousnesses. Buddhist monasteries debated whether duplicated minds could achieve enlightenment. Islamic scholars examined whether such constructs possessed souls. Dr. Sarah Chun, who had first noticed the timeline anomalies, continued her investigation. Her latest findings suggested a pattern of increasing sophistication. Early incidents had shown obvious mechanical behaviors, but recent public appearances seemed more naturally human. Either we're witnessing rapid technological advancement, she noted in her research journal, or the operators are learning to better mask the artificial elements. The mystery reached a potential resolution when multiple sources reported a catastrophic incident at a Nevada facility. Eyewitness accounts described a power failure that caused multiple identical figures to suddenly collapse simultaneously. Emergency responders found several unconscious individuals, all bearing identical physical characteristics and wearing matching clothing. Official reports classified the incident as a training exercise involving look-alike personnel, but leaked medical records told a different story. Brain scans of the affected individuals showed identical neural patterns, a biological impossibility for naturally occurring humans. The ultimate truth remained elusive. No definitive proof emerged to confirm or deny the existence of consciousness duplication technology. The billionaire in question continued making public appearances, seemingly unaware of or unconcerned by the swirling speculation. Perhaps that was the most unsettling aspect of the entire mystery. If multiple artificial versions of a person existed, would they even know about each other? Would they believe themselves to be the real version while dismissing others as mere copies? The questions multiplied faster than answers could be found. In an age of rapid technological advancement, the line between possible and impossible had become increasingly blurred. Whether the truth involved advanced holography, elaborate hoaxes, or genuinely revolutionary consciousness technology, one fact remained certain. The world had entered uncharted territory where nothing could be taken for granted. As investigations continued and theories evolved, humanity faced a fundamental challenge. How could society function when the basic assumption of individual human uniqueness could no longer be trusted? The Elon enigma had become more than a celebrity mystery. It was a glimpse into a future where identity itself might be programmable.